We're back with a little tea time with Tish, or Tizzle, whichever you want. And our little thing today says, breathe in peace and breathe out blessings to all. I love that. So good.
So cute.
Yeah, so cute.
Okay, we have a lot of relationship questions today, Tish.
Okay.
So the first one is advice on not letting your personal insecurities bleed into your relationship.
I'm the worst person to ask about this. Seriously. I'm so insecure. And so I think it's really hard, but I also am prideful. So I think that helps me a little bit, not let them bleed in so much. And for me, I think up until now, because Dom has really, the biggest thing I can say about him is that he has taught me to communicate. And I have never been a communicator at all. And so now that I'm comfortable communicating, I think for me, I used to be so insecure that I would let it bleed into the relationship in negative ways where I wouldn't want to say anything and I'd keep it to myself, which then, it just stews and it ends up not being good. So I think if you have someone that you can really communicate with, that it makes it so much easier. And to be able to just be vulnerable and honest and talk to your partner about, things that you're feeling. And I think there's a way to do it without coming across to them as annoying or even just, they're probably not doing anything at all. And I know for me, that was always the case, is that it was just something that I was feeling that was on me. But I love that I have a partner now that I can communicate with. I think that's so important.
I love that. How do you feel about long distance relationships and how do you keep them happy and healthy? Do you think they can work?
I think they can work for some people. As a matter of fact, like Brandy, I think is somebody that is totally okay with a long distance relationship. For me, I think it would be harder. I've never had a long distance relationship, so I don't know how to do that. But I've had a lot of friends, and especially Brandy, have long-term relationships that are very long distance that worked really well. I think especially nowadays with like FaceTime, it just makes that so much easier. It's so much easier to communicate now long distance that I absolutely think it can work.
I think it probably goes back to what you were just saying about communicating, period. Like you have to be so in that space.
I think that would be the biggest thing, is just making sure that if you're long distance, that you are FaceTiming all the time and, really spending quality time with each other, even if it's not in person, that it's either on the phone or on FaceTime. How fun to write love letters and just little cute text. And I think you absolutely can find ways to communicate in beautiful ways, even if you're long distance.
I love that. Okay, this one is, how do you know it's time to end a relationship?
I think most of the time, if you're even thinking about it, it probably is time. That's one thing that I learned. And I think if you're even considering leaving a relationship, there's probably a reason. But also, like I said, like communication is everything. And maybe it's stuff that you need to communicate about that you haven't, really gotten into. I don't think you always throw in the towel so easily either. I think if you've been in a committed relationship for a long time, it's important to, communicate, things that maybe are not making you happy in the relationship. And maybe you can work on those things or go to therapy. But I think a lot of times when you're really thinking that it's time to go, a lot of times it's time to go.
Yeah. Okay, last one. I really want a relationship, but keep finding myself in situationships. Help.
Wow. I don't know about that. Situationships. I've always been a relationship girl. I've never been a situationship girl. So,
But you probably told that to them up front, right?
yeah, I was never that. And so maybe, again, communication's everything. And maybe that's something that you talk about right up front. I think a lot of people are okay being in situationships and not relationships. And if you're one of those people that aren't, I think it's really important to communicate that right from the start.
I love that. That's great advice. Thanks, Tish.
Well, I love these questions. Keep them coming, guys. Absolutely love. Relationships are my thing.
You guys can send them to, you can DM us questions, send them to the email,
Yep.
all the things we'll put in the description.
Keep them coming. We love Dear and Tears are my favorite thing. My favorite thing of the podcast and my favorite thing of Truly Tish. So make sure and keep those relationship questions coming. See you next time.